part of my embodiment work with my therapist and nervous system regulation work, I'm challenging myself to do something new, and I'm pairing it with something I value, which is my newsletter. And I'm going to start creating an audio version for them, me reading it, which is something I get really uncomfortable because I get in my head and I start to think about, well, what if people know that this is scripted? It's not me being authentic, even though it's my authentic words I wrote, so on and so forth. So here I am. I'm going to challenge myself to create a video that will then become audio for my newsletter. And this is an issue coming out soon. So if you are interested in joining my newsletter, learning to optimize your time, mind, body, and just perform at a higher level as a person, and then bring that with you to other areas of your life that matter most to you, well, then the Performance Pulse newsletter is for you. Free to join, under 3 minutes every week of a read. Will be eventually audio and video attached to it. So here we are, we're gonna get right into it. First thing I always start my newsletters with is what I call a pulse point. It's a main theme of the issue. So this week's pulse point coming out Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Subscribe if you have not yet done so. It's free, no strings attached. The pulse point is mastery isn't about staying in one state. It's about recognizing where you are, deciding if it serves you, and shifting with intention. Because if you can't shift your state, you're not in control. You're just reacting to life instead of leading it. Now, for a long time, I believed the goal was to exist in a specific state, either calm and grounded or driven and activated. I thought there was a right way to feel, and anything outside of that meant I was doing something wrong. That belief trapped me in unnecessary suffering, forcing control instead of embracing the full spectrum of being a human being. But real resilience isn't about locking into one state. It's about knowing when to shift. The real work isn't about choosing between fight or flight or rest and digest, the sympathetic versus the parasympathetic nervous system. It's about developing the capacity to regulate both in an appropriate response to the environment. It's about learning to shift between them as needed rather than chasing the illusion of constant stillness or relentless drive. Now, why does this matter? Well, because many people fall into the trap of thinking that they should always be calm and grounded, which is all brake, or always driven productive, all gas, but neither is sustainable in isolation. So too much brake, you stall out. Too much gas, you burn out. The key isn't picking one. It's building the skill to shift between them in real time with precision. True performance and resilience come from your ability to shift gears with intention. So if you're too activated, you burn out running on urgency instead of clarity. If you're too still, you stagnate, mistaking inaction for peace. And if you can regulate both, well, then you stay adaptable, knowing when to push and when to recover. See, the goal isn't control, it's adaptability. True resilience is the ability to move with life, not against it. So here's some quick action to build adaptability. Number one, check in with your state. Are you feeling tense or reactive or lethargic and unmotivated? What's going on in the environment? Is your state appropriate to the present moment, or is it a reflection of a past experience? Because awareness is the first step. Number two, shift with intention. Need activation? We'll try some deep breathing with some movement like a walk or cold exposure, or go get some exercise. Or if you need grounding, slow your breath, lengthen the exhales, and engage in stillness-based recovery. You can scan the environment and just see what's going on. Do a body scan. Number three, stop labeling your state as good or bad. Your nervous system isn't working against you. It's just responding to your environment. Learn to listen to it, not judge. Adaptability starts with letting go of judgment and getting curious instead of critical about how your state aligns with your current reality. Observe the connection between your state and your environment. Are they congruent? If not, well, that's where the real work begins. So power isn't staying in one state. It's in knowing how to shift states when it matters. See, too many people live life in reacting instead of responding, moving through the world based on past conditioning rather than the present reality. But adaptability is a skill, not a trait. It can be trained, refined, and mastered with intention. The more you practice shifting your state instead of being stuck in it, the more control you gain over your focus, energy, and performance. Now, the better you get at adapting, the less life happens to you, and the more you take the wheel and allow life to happen through you. So as promised, actionable insights to build resilience all in under 3 minutes. And if you're not subscribed, if you're interested in leveling up how you show up, also known as your performance in any area of life, I encourage you to subscribe for free every week, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursdays. I drop an issue, 3 minutes or less to read, and I look forward to any feedback. If you got them, leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next episode.